With it right here with who I started with, be something like a Spartan. It's going hard regardless. I'm from the 826 plus 5. Mo bitches, 8 Central Coast mob and suicide. Only arsonist. I step in the booth and gas. I gotta keep it lit. Engineer all my music. I work hard at this.
That's right. We're live. Gracias for everyone that's tuning in right now. It's Friday night. I highly appreciate you guys. No, I'm not going to be able to go live a little bit later. Man, it's been one of those days, but you know what? We don't have any excuses. Hey, God woke us up this morning. Dale, pero dale duro, man. So gracias to all the day oneers. Gracias to everyone in the members only. This might be the last live at the camp because they only had like a 6 to 8 week community college course. And then I'm going to be able to go back at 6 o'clock. So usually what I do right now is I go straight from the trabajo. I come, I grab a Jamba Juice and then go visit moms at the cemetery. And then now I'm here sitting outside the youth camp because, yeah, this is really, really important work. I call it my most important work that I could ever do. And yeah, so gracias, man. All the day oneers. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the pinchy bell, gente. And when you hit the bell, you gotta hit the all. That way you're notified every time we go live, even if it's live from the car, right? But gracias, man. And gracias all the members only, the backbone of the community. I'm gonna see you guys real soon for a content creator series of fighting. Buzz versus Cholo Trucker. Let's talk about that press conference. Well, let's talk about a lot of things, right? I also want to address something that someone sent me in regards to volunteering to serve the people. And then all of a sudden, when it doesn't turn beneficial enough for you, when it doesn't benefit you enough to serve the people, you'll come out with a real noble and a commendable, in your eyes, commendable excuse to back out of serving with the people. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to address that's right, Door TV. I appreciate you, my boy. Gracias, carnal. Day one. Come to the pelea, cabron. Get at me, man. We got general admission tickets. We also got ringside tickets for those that want to be up front. Ringside tickets. The fight is going to be absolutely stacked. I got off the phone yesterday with about 3 coaches. That's why it's good to have a network of people, man. I got 2 fights coming out of Merced, California. Shout out to the Jarro brothers. And shout out to Chiquito Jarro, who I ring announced like a dozen or more of his amateur fights. Now he's a pro fighter fighting for a world title in Puerto Rico the same weekend as the fight. So I'm excited about that. We got a heavyweight fight. We also got another middleweight fight on the undercard. And then 2 coaches that I reached out to right here from Salinas are going to see how many more monster fights we can add to this card. We're never going to do everything cookie cutter, gente. Never, never, never that. That's never been my stilo. Obviously, on the first fight, we had to go big. Go hard or go home. That's the motto, right? So we went big. We put our footprint down. But anyways, let's keep it moving, man. That's right, OG Smoker. That's right, my boy. You got that 3-pack of Brillo right inside that pinchy jacket pocket. You just pull it out. You're ready to go, cabron. You're ready to go. Anyway, excuse me. The press conference was off the pinchy hook. Gente, go back and trip out on the press conference. They're throwing little verbal chingazos at each other before the big chingazos on April 27th. Cholo got a lot of support, just like Buzz does. A lot more people have been ringing my phone for Cholo to support him and to come up from LA. That's what's up. But they're also coming from Stockton. They're also coming from the 209 as well. So we got general admission tickets. We also got ringside tickets available if you got to come and see the action in person. Again, with all these fights that are getting added to the undercard, I don't even think so. At first, I reached out to there was a youngster, Tito Lokes, and some other names. And yes, these are 100% hardline pushing active youngsters. Yes, they are. and I respect it. This is a private show, so obviously it's not going to be on YouTube or anything like that. Aside the fact, though, I'm going to go right now, what I mean, go and talk to 100% monster, active frontline youngsters over here. But my spiel, is always the same. I let them know up front. This is how it is. And it is what it is, right? You in, you're out. That's right, OG Smoker. I said my boy Pancho Zapata, Wrench the Wrench Gang. Miss Chicano Tube is in the building. Appreciate you, amor. Park right here. Obviously, we got time. This might be the last one from the car, because I think next month they're gonna graduate that 8-week course, and then I can go back to 6 o'clock and get home a little bit earlier. But I don't mind, man. I'm right here. I'm on the Alisal. I'm in the neighborhood. It's beautiful, man. There's street vendors over there. They're selling huaraches over there. They're selling oranges over here. The Alisal is beautiful, gente. Cholo Trucker came for the last fight. He's like, man, I'm digging all the murals they got. And he was on the east. And I said, cabron, I compare East Salinas a lot to East LA. There's just rich, deep culture. Ain't no gentrification would ever happen in Salinas. I doubt that. But let's go ahead and keep it pushing, man. One thing I wanted to touch on, well, I got a couple things I wanted to touch on, is what the pendejo pinche Biden did on Easter. Now, I know a lot of podcasters ain't touching on that. Maybe they don't want to touch on politics, or maybe they're scared to offend somebody. Not. The people are here on Chicano Tube because they understand my perspective is the same perspective as anyone else that grew up in the hood. These politicians get voted into office, don't even live in the neighborhood no more, come back to rally for your vote, and then disappear for another 4 years. So I don't bite my tongue. No tengo pelos en la lengua. The disrespect, gente, the disrespect is on another pinchy level I had never seen before. Never seen before. You're telling me that in the Cristiano's face, huge slap. I mean, huge slap. Again, I really don't blame 46 because I think he's a puppet. I really think he's a puppet on a string, and he was just falling down all over the place. Someone has to walk by him agarrando su pinche brazo and holding him like a VNA, like he belongs in hospice. So I really don't blame him. I know he's a puppet. But gente, to the raza out there, I want to ask you this. I want to ask the raza this. What would your parents, and I'm assuming you're Chicanos, and if you're not, okay, then maybe you cannot relate. I'll leave that up to you. What would us Chicanos, what would our parents think? What would our great grandparents think? Grandparents, great grand, the whole way down the line. If something like that were to happen in their time, and for them to see disrespect completely, una cachetada in our face, for you on Easter Sunday, a holy day. That's why I didn't go live on Good Friday. No. It was a time to reflect. God is good. I'm here because of him. The bullets that should have hit me that flew by my head are because of him. The ones that did hit my body, but I ended up living, is because of him. If I have energy, breath in my lungs, purpose, drive, and desire, it's because of him. If I'm in my right mind that I'm at now, it's because of him. So the disrespect coming from 46 on Easter Sunday is something I wanted to touch on. Out of this world, gente. When is the raza gonna wake up? Now, someone had commented and said, well, Mikey, do you want a dictator? No, I don't want a dictator. Y no soy pendejo. I understand that it's never gonna be, never, one person that runs the whole show. Never. It's chess, not checkers. Never. So yeah, you could put someone in the White House, and then 4 years later comes another cabron or cabrona and unravels the whole thing. I get it. But the disrespect to those of faith that hold faith has never been worse than it is right now. And people want more years of that. I'm cool. I'm cool. Anyways, I don't want to spend too much on politics. Usually I talk about politics on the back end, gente. Anyways, I'm right outside the juvenile camp. Just so you can see, aquí están, right outside the juvenile camp. There it is right there, right behind this little pino tree. Those are the probation cars. There's a little flag over there. And I got some time to kill, man. So, and we're not gonna go live tonight because I'm gonna get home, gente, and of course I'm gonna be, drained and tired. We gotta balance, gente. We gotta balance. YouTube is cool. It's cool and all that. YouTube is definitely not more important than this. It's definitely not more important than helping these pinchy youngsters out. Because I go over here and I lace the youngsters up, and they always pull me to the side after the group, and they want to talk one on one, and they tell me, bro, you hit a button. Like in your family of gangs and getting sucked in the vacuum and cycles and curses and everything. They said, bro, you hit me right here where it hurts, cabron. I said, you know what I told the youngsters? I said, close your eyes. Let me pray for you. Exactly what I do. Now, I'm not perfect. No, I'm not perfect. No, 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 no. But I understand clearly. I'm just a vessel. It's not because my actions are what I do that I'm going to get to meet the maker. It's because of I accepted him to rule and dominate and say, take control of the wheel and let me just be your vessel. Anyways, let's talk about something else. I miss Chicano too. That's right. Sancho Villa, watch out. Here comes the husband, cabron. He's knocking on the door. Jump, hit the pinche ventana way. Chale con Trump, wakala. Well, to each his own. I'm not hanging on one pinchy politician. What I'm going to do, Pancho Zapata, is I'm going to vote with my wallet weight. How many people are left California? Not just people, how many fucking businesses? State Farm is leaving. Allstate is leaving. Farmers is pretty much not even writing any more home policies. Businesses are leaving California. 37% taxes. And you want to get used to that? I understand, Wade. The orange man. The way I know him is he hosted all the mega fights for Mike Tyson before Las Vegas was the Mecca. It was Atlantic City and it was in the casinos. So again, to each his own. I personally can give a shit what comes out of the person's account on Twitter. And you can argue with me, well, there's a high standard of that. You can argue all of that. But the quality of life is better for my family. That trumps everything. That trumps everything. But anyways, let's keep it pushing. Alex Enamorado. The update, I follow Attorney Rosenberg. He did an update on the Justice 8. It's not even the Justice 8 no more. One of them is already out. And the rest of them, I'm not sure what's going on. But Alex Enamorado, Attorney Rosenberg, just put out there that he's facing multiple strikes from incidents in Pomona and I think they said in Victorville. These are multiple strikes on top of deportation. And it makes me think that situation, it's a bad situation, man. It's a cold situation. I think he's going to end up maybe hitting everything. He might end up hitting the state. Then they might send him over to the feds because INS, INS is linked with the feds. So after he gets done with doing years in the state, they might just send him over to the feds to just wring him out even more. Just lay there day after day in a concrete bathroom, rotting away. I mean, I don't know if it's like that, right? I mean, it could be dorms. It could be a country club. I don't know. But I mean, I only hit 3 and 4. I never went to a 1 or 2. So I don't know. When people talk about unlock, I don't know nothing about no unlocks. But anyways, everyone has their own experience. The only thing I don't agree with, and I want the gente to weigh this out because it sounds good to just, go for the raza. Anything that's brown, wait a second. Cálmate. Okay, let's think for a second. I had told the raza, you got to be careful, especially like if you're voting for somebody, the first thing your eye goes to is, oh, the guy that has the, or the girl that has the Raza last name, uh, uh, Lopez. Oh yeah, let's vote for Lopez. Wait a second, we don't even know what Lopez stands for, the policies, what they're trying to push, etc. So when Alex Enamorado made this comment, and they got it on video, and because it was on a Hood Stocks interview, he went and he had a debate with Lexit. He had a debate with Lexit. A-Rod was on there. Jesse, the founder of Lexit, Hogan was on there. And Alex Enamorado said this. And so I just want to put this out there as I'm giving the Justice Aid update, that he's facing multiple strikes. He might go from the state, INS, the feds, then deport him, you know. And so he said that your children and my children, Alex Enamorado said this, right? They got him on camera, are safer at a drag show, at a trans drag show, than they are at church. I want to know what the people think about that. I mean, come on. Let's weigh this out. So again, brown skin, it just doesn't fly all the time. We don't look at the color of people's skin here on Chicano Tube. We look at the character, and character is what gets done behind the scenes, not putting it all out there on Front Street. I had told you guys I have personal convictions, passing out blankets, passing out food, food drives, neighborhood drives, toy drives. I just feel like I would be a weirdo, and not that kind of weirdo, but I'd be. It feels weird to me to pull out a camera and be like, look, I'm giving this guy something to eat. I'm giving all these blankets away. Look, there's 100 of us, and we're feeding 5,000 people. That's just me. That's just me, because I know what I do in secret, the Lord will bless me out in the open. Or even if he, not materially, if he just wakes me up tomorrow, I'm happy. That's my blessing. But anyways, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's an absolutely ridiculous statement that Alex Enamorado said. Your children are safer at a drag show? Chale. Then church, chale. Now, orale, Marvelous Minds, I send my boy, gracias, I appreciate you, carnal, more than you know. Marvelous Minds tapping in right there on a grown man conversation, on some grown man shit, man. I send mine to you first and foremost. Gracias, Marvelous. I don't agree with what Alex said at all, period. If he's talking about the history of the Catholic Church, okay. Now, not only the Catholic Church, but for the most part, we know that there's been scandals, and it's been proven that they have abused children. Okay, if that's what he's talking about, okay, I just want to know what he's talking about when he says, Alex said, and again, the update from Attorney Rosenberg is that he's facing multiple strikes, then deportation, and then right now I think he's having health issues with his. So again, keep the man in prayer. It's a bad situation all the way around. One thing I do have is empathy for people. A lot of people will just shit on someone but not have no empathy. I have empathy. I put myself in that situation right there. That's back against the wall situation that a lot of us have never been in or could endure the stress of that situation. Now, I don't know if he's running with everyone and has to do that kind of stress, because obviously that's a whole lot different. Okay, we keep those stories in the members only. But anyways, let's move. He might be atheist. He should have just said, I'm atheist. He should have just said, I'm atheist. I don't know. I actually think American Cholo's atheist. I actually think AC's atheist. I'll tell you what. Tony told a story on how, shout out to Tony A, on how he went to that community meeting they had at the Victory Outreach in North Hollywood. And he said how all of AC's guests, right, were there. Pretty much all of them were handpicked because he was coordinating the event. That means their invitation, or I don't know if it was just open to the public. But anyways, maybe it was just open to the public. I didn't go. I had to work that day. And I probably wouldn't have went. So he's saying that everyone that went up there had loose lips and was cursing and swearing. A la chingada this, a la chingada this, a la chingada. Hold on. I mean, if you got a little bit of Holy Ghost, just, I mean, a pin needle. It just takes a pin needle of the Holy Ghost to be like, I cannot conduct myself like this. And my guest, who I'm putting up here to speak in my name, who I invited in my name, can't speak recklessly and disrespect the house of God. But maybe he's atheist. I don't know. I think he is. Maybe he doesn't give a shit, right? Kind of the way he carries himself, right? A little bit reckless, doesn't care to get in wreck after wreck after wreck after wreck. Well, let's talk about that. Someone sent me a photo that was real funny. Gente, stop already, man. Let me talk about that IG photo, but anyways, not that right now. Let me talk about what Run the Fade, what I heard on Run the Fade. There was a caller that called in and said, guess what? Alvin and the Chipmunks, Alvin, he got ran off the neighborhood council. I got the minute order that says right here. But wait a second. I thought we took a photo op for the people, right hand up, nice big smile, like this is my moment. I can, do good for the people, which is a good thing. But what happened to having palabra? This is what I think happened. When serving the people didn't benefit that individual enough, that individual said, chale, I'm out. What is he going to do, though? Come up with an honorable way, come up with something in his mind that's commendable. Well, this is the reason I did it. No. Same thing. I'm sitting right here outside the juvenile hall, the juvenile camp. Right here. I'm sitting right outside of it. I'm going to go in there in a little bit, and I'm going to talk to all these youngsters. And I've been talking to all these youngsters since 2015. These youngsters would like me to come every week or every 2 weeks. The reason I don't is because I don't want to overcommit, and then my palabra, my word as a man, falls to the ground. And if my palabra falls to the ground, I don't intend anyone to ever hold my palabra as truth, as Bible, or take it to the bank. So that's why I don't overcommit. Once a month, I'm going to come over here, and then once a month, I'm going to go to the new juvenile hall. But this individual signed up, put it out there, made it this huge accomplishment. Oh, I'm in. I did it. Took the photo. And then now is coming up with an excuse to not serve the people. Well, every time I go in there, they never hear me out. Well, there's nothing really that can be done. Everything is fixed. Well, come on. Who are we doing this for? I understand this is a sacrifice, gente. Now I'm sitting an extra hour outside the camp after a long day of weekday pushing papers, clients. Shout out to all my clients. It's a huge sacrifice, but the last thing I'm going to do is let these youngsters down. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to let these youngsters down. My wife is a witness of my dedication since 2015 coming to this camp right here. The only time I haven't came, maybe since 2015, I can count them on one hand. And the other times that I couldn't get in these doors is because they're on lockdown and they got off. Like it happened, I think it was in February. Was it January or February? My honey was in the comment section. She would know. When she was like, "Man, you're home early." I said, "Yeah, I pulled up and they had some new intakes, and they're arrivals, and they were gonna get off, and right before they were gonna get off, they just locked the whole place down, and put these 2-3 youngsters, process them by themselves. And I'm sure, I mean, that's not going to stop them, because as soon as they open program up, they probably got off anyways. That's the only time that I wouldn't fulfill. Other than that, my word is my bond. There's still people that got palabra out here, gente. There is. YouTube is a funny place, though. You'll see cats come off one way, and then in real life, they might be a whole other way. Or, clout, I say, is the new carga. People just come on here. They love the likes. They love the comments. They love the views. I understand it's a numbers game. I said this since the beginning, man. This is like a continuation of what the hell I do in real life, man. Right here, sitting outside the juvenile camp, waiting to go in there and let them know what the business is. G Sierra, I see you, amiga. Oh, I also want to give a early happy G Day to Bean Loke from Dankin and Drankin. Shout out to you, my boy. Let me crack this window open. Shout out to you. Happy G Day, cabron. I appreciate your friendship, cabron. Bean Loke is definitely part of the Brown Wall. The Brown Wall, if you didn't know what the Brown Wall is, the Brown Wall is the security team for a series of fighting. That's the Brown Wall. Content creator, series of fighting. So the Brown Wall on this one are invited as guests. They don't got to secure nothing. We don't have security concerns. Well, I mean, very, very, very small, if anything. But there's no security concerns at this fight. So the Brown Wall is invited, and they're going to come as guests. But I'm going to see you mañana, cabrón. And then we'll talk cara a cara. You already know what it is, man. Happy G Day to Bean Loke, my brother from another mother. I send mine over to you, cabrón. Let me switch topics just a little bit, okay? Someone the other sent me a clip. You guys, you're taking it too far, man. You're taking it too far with this BMX guy, Adam, from No Jumper, which, of course, he's the largest platform. I'm not saying he's not the largest platform, but he ain't running nothing. You think people are really about to catch life cases for Adam? Do you think that? We could joke around on the internet and say, this guy's the king of this guy's the king of that, this is the king of that. This is just the internet. Es puro pendejada, es puro pedo. But do you actually think that this guy Adam is inciting wars? Now, of course, most of these podcasts that do this is because they're pushing media. So, they what they do, gente, if you didn't know, is they third party, they buy a little app. I can name them, a couple of them. So they end up third party, maybe $30 a month. They end up third partying, go buy an app, and this app will put all of these headlines for you and share it right to your profile, so that way you're just filling the streams and the feeds up with news. So it might not be that these podcasters are making these pinchy thumbnails. What time is it anyways? I want to make sure I'm not late, cabrón. I'm sitting right here in front of the pinchy meeting, and then imagine if I'm late. What time is it? Let me check what time it is. 6:48. I'm good. It's actually at 7:15. My bad. No one is going to catch a case for Adam. Now, can something happen on his podcast? Yes, it can. And would we have seen it coming? Oh, for damn sure, man. They're throwing drinks over there. You got rivals. Okay, not Mexican rivals, but black brothers. They're rivals. You know what I mean? That means you'll have Hoovers over there with neighborhoods, and that's what I mean by rivals, right? And again, not Mexicans. And we're going to get to Lefty right now, and Lazy, because I do want to, this is kind of what we're talking about right now. Mi amiga Boss Lady, I appreciate you. We're live right here. I'm right outside the juvenile hall, the juvenile camp. I'm going to go inside right now and talk to these youngsters right now. This is the most important work I do, is what I'm about to go in right now in about 25 minutes, talking to these youngsters. Because at least if it plants a seed in one of them goes home and says, shit, what Mike is talking about is right, man. It's a chess game. They're going to strike me out. They're going to use me and abuse me. And I'm going to sit there staring at the wall the rest of my life, thinking I'm cool for nothing. Anyway, I appreciate you, Boss Lady. I didn't mean to rant while I posted your comment, amiga. Hit that like, though. Hit that subscribe, man. So I'm not going to go live today. This is going to be it today. Maybe go live tomorrow. Maybe go live. Happy G Day to Beanloke. Adam 22. So again, gente, cálmase when you put the thumbnail photo. I'm inciting wars. I understand it's content, I guess, but do you take that seriously? This guy started interviewing BMX bikers, SoundCloud rappers before they blew up, and some of those SoundCloud rappers blew the fuck up, all the way up. But you really think he's inciting wars? No, he's not. Does he have a platform that instigates shit? A lot. But it's these viral moments that the gente, they want again and again and again. Like me, hate me, as long as you're engaging. That's it. That's the whole crux of being a podcaster, of being a media outlet. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Just hit one of them. It helps the channel. He doesn't give a shit, well, no matter what it is, right? As long as it goes viral. Now, Lazy and Lefty. Let me talk about that. Well, I guess I should say this first. The little Grifo situation, where his house got riddled with bullets. What's new about that? I don't know what's new about that. You're in the game. You're in the game. You're rapping about being in the game. Now, what I do want to ask is, what part of the game is this? When all of a sudden your house gets riddled with bullets and you show the internet. That's 2024. That's new school shit. That still kind of shocks me. When people run to the internet, instead of confronting an individual, talking to the individual, pulling up on the individual, calling him, they run to the internet. I'll never understand that. Little Grifo's house gets shot up. Why is everyone surprised? Why? Been there. Why is everyone? That's part of the game. That's what you signed up for. Posting on the internet? That's new school shit. What are you going to get by posting it on the internet? Someone to change the windows out in your house? Maybe. Someone that has a glass company will be like, Little Grifo, hey, I install windows, carnal. Let me go and install windows on your house. Maybe that can happen. There's a lot of good Samaritans on the internet that God blesses because they blessed you without you even asking for it. So, you'll get that blessing if that happened, but that's normal. Lefty Gunplay, which is okay rapper, gente. Let's keep that real. Okay, he's an okay rapper. Not knocking him, not knocking the demographic or where he's from, none of that stuff. He's an okay rapper. But if Lefty Gunplay ever went on a Thizzler cipher, up north, they will tear him up 1,000 to 1,000 pieces. Band 707 on that Thizzler cipher, I can name a lot of more that will absolutely annihilate Lefty Gunplay. Matter of fact, Lefty Gunplay has also, it's been put out there, he's been copying lyrics. And guess what Lefty Gunplay says? Who gives a fuck? Your fans want to know if you're going to copy a whole 4 bars off of another rapper and then deny it, they even inspired it. Come on now. But anyways, Adam is not inciting these things. Lefty versus Lazy. What's new? Gente, why are these headlines? What is new on the California calles? Nothing. Nothing new. It's just now on the internet, and it's just now a story, and it's just now clickbait, and you got people that make badass thumbnails that I'll even click on it too. Robert C says, Lazy and Lefty on the boxing matches in the ring. Absolutely. This is what Content Creator Series of Fighting is about. The gente, they're still sleeping on Content Creator Series of Fighting, but that's okay. I got a long-term vision for this thing. We're going to Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Denver, Colorado. We're going where the raza is. And sooner than later, the Series of Fighting is going to be the place to put these matches together. Now, I can't deal with these people that are going to want to talk themselves out of it. Well, they talk a good one, like they're going to pull up. Well, we don't, how old are we, 15? No. What we should do is show the youngsters how we take care of business. Not on the internet. Ain't no one gonna record the fade. Ain't no one gonna put no clips out or nothing. It's not like Crip Max DP where people recorded it. If that shit was real street and they kept the G, the same people that recorded Crip Max DP to put them on blast on the internet would have got their ass beat that same day. They wouldn't have just heard about Crip Mac getting DP'd. There would have been 4 people that got their ass beat because there was like 2 or 3 people that recorded it. But anyways, new school shit, new school shit. What's new with Lefty and Lazy Boy? Nothing. Nothing absolutely new. It's been the same old song since the 1960s. The same old song. Orle Farmero, that's right, my boy from the hometown right here. I'm just right here. I'm parked right here, cabron, next to the pharmacy, right behind the youth center. Aquí estamos, just going live for a little bit, letting them know. I was telling them about AC. You know, he's trying to come up with an excuse and saying, well, you know, they never would hear me out anyways. Then why did you sign up to volunteer to serve the community and take this photo like this to later on come up with an excuse why not to serve the community? It's better you just didn't do it in the first place. But anyways, I'm digressing. I'm talking about Adam 22. Do people really think he's inciting wars? No one is gonna catch a case for this gavacho. No one. No one's gonna do a life sentence for that gavacho. Absolutely no one is gonna catch a case. So he's not inciting any wars. So these thumbnails of him looking, ain't no one can. Now, something, I'm gonna call it right now. I'm gonna call it right now. Something is gonna happen one day on No Jumper. That's not gonna be recorded, or maybe it's gonna be recorded, but someone's gonna get hurt. I think someone's gonna get hurt. He's never gonna invite both sides of the Mexicanos on there, but maybe with the brothers, because sometimes they have, rivals. You'll have Hoovers with neighborhoods and stuff like that. And then he has a show with Whack, and that guy Whack is just talking about paperwork. Paperwork. Oh my gosh, man. But anyways, what's new with Little Grifo's house getting shot up? Absolutely nothing. The funny thing about it is he's showing photos of the house shot up for what? Show it on the internet for what? This is the internet. This is YouTube Landia. Let me see, Pancho Zapata, that's a good one. Mikey, when I was a teen, some solid OGs always told me about doing events, raffles, etc. with the church for the community. I didn't get paid or anything, but feels good, was able to help out. That's right. That's right. So those are real OGs. That means they're trying to lace you up so you don't spend all of your time behind the walls. Those are the real ones. These other ones, they ain't real. They're trying to put something in your hand, like that pendejo a Bud Light, E.T. Let's talk about E.T. for a second. Allegedly, he's trying to get the other little youngster from Utah. He's trying to get him to push work out of state. Allegedly. What happened about being for the people? Man, I think it's the year of the levas are just getting weeded out. Everyone's finding out who's for the people, who's not for the people. And you don't have to be. You don't have to be. It's all entertainment at the end of the day. Do what you do. The only cabrones I go after, mark my words, it's never going to be me starting something. This guy, that guy. Life is too short, man. Life is too short. There's 2 types. One is, first of all, the ones that are claiming to be raza, like Iron Jacket, like that dude Iron Jacket. Here, we're always going to go after the Iron Jackets. All the time. All the time. We're always going to go after the Iron Jackets. 2, it's the people that come off that they're for the people, get voted in, and then the message on the platform is I don't know. They're for the people, and then the next day, West Side 18th Street, Lomita Flats, Tortilla Flats, this and that. And I'm like, damn, is this a gang channel? Or is this to help and better the people? I get confused. I get confused. And I don't have a low IQ. It just is pretty simple because of the work that I've been doing since 2012, gang prevention specialist. 2015, I started coming over to the juvenile hall and the camp. Well, 2012, I got ordained as a minister también. And then gang prevention specialist, speaking at the annual conference that they have at the Boys and Girls Club here. Shout out to Carol Cervantes that worked for the city of Salinas and all the work we did at the Hebron Heights Center with all the youngsters. 2015 here. All this other stuff is why I can tell who's on the fence. I can warn the youngsters now, don't fuck with that guy, youngster. He's got a complex about him. That complex is like feeling superior, some kind of complex. I don't know what it is, man. Farmero's in the casa. What's going on is on Southern podcasters are attempting to intimidate Adam, so he blackballs NorCal artist. A Chicago guy got indicted after his no jumper interview. Real shit. Real shit, man. They just opening their mouths on the internet. But again, Farmero, you already know this. Not everyone is laced up like that. I mean, they'll just put it all out there. Look at the pendejos that are on the internet with tank tops on, overgrown men that think they're cool and telling war stories. What does that do to the youngsters? You know, I was almost, you know how everyone was posting on April Fools? You know, something that was a mamada that people were like, oh, fuck. Come on, it's April Fools. You could clearly tell because of the way the person is, right? Or say in real life, or at least how we know them on YouTube. And in the mamada they post, we're like, okay, it's April Fools. Everyone was posting those posts. I almost was going to post something on the community page on YouTube and be like, you know what? From now on, I'm going to wear a tank top on the internet only, and I'm going to talk nothing but war stories from now on. I was almost going to say something like that, that people would have been like, you're out of your fucking mind, Mikey. This is an April Fool's joke for real. It's not hard to tell who did the fucking 180, bro. They're poisoning the youngsters, and I constantly have to come to these camps right here and unravel that. Unravel that. Don't listen to that pendejo. Did you see his video? Don't listen to that pendejo. Did you see that? Don't listen to that pendejo. Again, the only people I'm trying to steer the youngsters away from are the people that are one way. They're either on YouTube for the money and don't know they're steering the youngsters in the wrong direction because their message, or they're on YouTube for clout and don't know they're steering the youngsters in the wrong direction, or they just don't know what the hell they're doing. 1 foot here, 1 foot there. I can see the fence straddlers. We had an incident right here in Salinas. I'm telling you, one of the local nonprofits came out on the newspaper, and it said that an organization infiltrated this nonprofit, and it named 3 or 4 individuals that I knew. I'm not going to say the name of it, but again, here, Monterey County, you get exposed for doing shit like that. If I were to be one video right here I got this guy right here, a politician. He's for the community, and I'm trying to help the youngsters. And then the next day, I come out and I say, OG Fremont 600 block tells his story. What are you going to think? Seriously, what are you going to think? Anyways, I appreciate you, Farmero. That's a Farmero was right here. Farmero was right here with cabrón. Farmero was right here with me. We're right here at 5:30 a.m. waking up at attention. Remember they used to come in our rooms, Farmero, with the nightstick and the old trash cans that had the lids. Get up. Man, that was crazy. Those were crazy times, man. There was a lot of fights. Remember, Farmero? When this place opened up, it was like Caesar's Palace. We used to call it. Remember, we used to call it Caesar's Palace? We used to call it Caesar's Palace. He remembers. Farmero, but I don't want to say the name. You know what I mean? I don't want to say the name of that place. But I ended up I know about 3 or 4 of them. No, 3 or 4. One of them, I shot his wedding. If you want to know who Farmero, just get at me if you want to know. 831-205-1735. That's the phone line. That's the party line, but you could always text me. One of them, I ended up shooting his wedding. And if I say his name, you probably know who it is, Farmero. I ended up shooting his wedding. All of them, and all the groomsmen were Northern Structure. All of them. So I don't want to say names like that. You know. That's right. Happy 1977, girl. I appreciate you, amiga. About 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and get in here. But again, I'm going to go ahead and keep it pushing. Another thing I want to mention is the Wayward Son is coming back on the channel, gente. Just give him a little bit. It was crazy how he was texting me. What happened was he got off of work. He got called, okay, at work by a native brother of his, and he said up in some land that they had occupied, they wanted to start salt mining, and they showed up with bulldozers. This is the day we were gonna go live. I started the live thinking he's gonna come on and everything, but it was a good live. We talked about indigenous history. We talked about Aztec and tribal warfare. We talked about colonization, and there was a lot of questions that we answered. One of them I wanted to debate Norby's. Cabron, Norby's, if you're here, a debate challenge. How about this, Norby's? A debate. Let's do it for the people. If you think it's interesting enough. If it's not, okay. It is what it is. On your phrasing saying that we'd be better off without Mexico. We'd be better off without Mexico. I think that'd be a good debate, Norby's. Norby's, get at me, cabron. Hit me on IG, or you got my phone. You got the 205-1735. You called in the other day. That's the line you could always hit me on. It's the Google Voice number, but it's still the line. That's the line I get texts and phone numbers on. That'd be a good debate. Another debate I'm thinking would be a good one is Cholo Trucker. I spoke with him the other day, and I could say this because it's not no behind the scenes shit. Because he's talked about this on his channel. He says, Cholo Trucker says, he doesn't fly the Mexican flag. I think that'd be another great conversation. So Norby's, Cholo Trucker, come on, cabrones, we could set that up. Again, I'm busy, but we could set that up. I think that would be good, very entertaining for the people. Last one that went on that case. I did time with the last one that went on the chase. Oh, okay. You're talking about the one in Hollister? Yeah, I ran into him. Well, that's Nuno's brother. That's Nuno's brother, and you already know Nuno's RV4's dad. Yeah, Nuno's brother. Yeah, is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, he got out of Hollister. Yeah, man, I think he was with like his 11-year-old son, and then when they hit the house, man, he was already a two-striker. He was at that wedding, the one that I'm telling you about. I'm just gonna say who it was. It was Trix. I went to Trix's wedding. It was like 3-4 years ago. Anyways, they were all the groomsmen, and he was one of them too. And yeah, they got him. He's a two-striker, man. That's crazy. So, but you know what? It's just how we grew up, cabron. If that's all we knew, and we didn't want to make any changes, then what was our destiny gonna be? What was our destiny gonna be? Anyways, Mike Jones in the casa isn't AC Hondureño 100% to my knowledge, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know the guy. I think by now he would have said I'm Mexican, at least part. I think he would have said a quarter Mexican, half Mexican. I think so. Do I got any ill will toward him? I have no fucking ill will toward him. But if if at first you're going to volunteer to help the people, serve the people on the neighborhood council, take the photo, and it's very noble and it's great, and I'm sure all that is just for views and likes, and who wouldn't want to show that off? I don't hate on anyone uploading their highlights on the internet. Now, if they upload their lowlights, not the highlights, I have way more respect for that. Because any one of us could upload a highlight, but a lot of us won't show rock bottom. Like, shout out to Food News Network. He's been very candid about fentanyl and his addiction and him already hitting rock bottom. But then later on, you're going to come up with a reason to back out. I would never. I mean, as long as God wakes me up in the morning and my heart is beating and I have breath in my lungs, I wouldn't let these youngsters down. The only time I haven't been here is because they're locked down because they got off. Or I can count on one hand how many times since 2015 I haven't showed up here. And this is twice a month. One here, one at the juvenile hall. I don't give a shit if AC says, oh, well, you know what? There was nothing that I could do. They weren't going to hear me out. It don't matter. You put yourself out there, and now you notice that he's not talking about it. He's not talking about it. It is what it is. All that's doing is showing people's character. But Wayward Son is returning. Let me check the clock. I don't want to be late. 7:09. All right, we got 6 minutes. 6 minutes. I don't want to be late, and I'm parked right in front of the meeting. I don't want to be late. Wayward Son is returning. We're gonna talk about a lot of indigenous history in the Americas, bloodlines, ancestry, perspectives on colonialism, on people identifying more with our indigenous side instead of the Spanish side. Like people are putting menospreciando the Spanish side. I don't at all. That's why I'm working on half the chest plate is Spanish, and the other half is gonna be Aztec or Mexica or whatever you want to call it, indigenous. Because I don't, what I mean, hide from that. AC should just be wearing that on his chest. Soy hondureño. But for him to say that's low level bullshit when all we're doing is speaking facts, all we're doing is educating the raza, because this raza movement is an old movement from like the 60s, maybe the 50s or 40s. But as far as I know, it's from the 60s. So changing the name of things, he calls that low level. But these are facts. Facts are facts. 2 plus 2 always is going to equal 4. You want to make it equal 5? That won't work. That won't work. To you, it'll work, but to everyone else that's not a pendejo, that won't work. Yeah, rock bottom. Juana Mezcla, you ain't lying, brother. I hit my rock bottom. I hit my rock bottom. El primer pinche corte that they're throwing 13 at me. I said, I just got to make it home. I just got to make, if I make it home from this time, I'm already tired. And that's at the beginning of the road. That's over here, barely going into the jungle over here. Or over here is really a jungle. I mean, they're getting off, they're throwing down, or chinga. It's like a jungle going to the county. And I still had a while to do. I mean, a while to do. And that was my rock bottom, man. That's what made me think there's nothing to glorify. There's no, what did he say in the colors? There's no, what did he say? What did he say? Before he shot off with the metralleta? There's no future in it. There's no future in it, man. I'm not one way about that. I'm open. And guess what? For these hardline youngsters that are active and pushing the line, I respect it. I've been inside that mentality. All I ate, slept, and breathed was the block. All I wanted to do every day was push the block. Push it, put it up front, put it on a pedestal. That's all I wanted to do for at least 20 years or more. Getting shot. I'm not going to tell those stories. That's members only shit. All these other incidents, nothing. Didn't learn a damn thing. I actually wish I would have went on the other road and grew up in a better path, but these are the cards that I got dealt with. But I believe I could do the most damage. I don't push that. I'm all for unity of the raza. Period. 100%. Don't come at me with anything else. That's it. Even to the youngsters, I tell the youngsters if they want to take a flick or something like that in public, I let them know, hey, just to let you know, I'm a gang specialist. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this and that. And sometimes some of the people that I got to move with, aren't active like you are. So if that's going to put you in a bad light, I don't want to put you in that position. Let's just not take that flick. Simple. And the youngsters respect it because I tell them just like that. This is a city that they push a real hard line. A real hard line. The youth can go to college and fix air conditioners or find a trade. Exactly. But you know what? God put a talent inside everybody. The parable of the talents, 4 of them, and only one of them didn't do nothing with it. The other 3 did something with it. So install car stereos, build your business, LLCs, like Content Creator Series of Fighting, and I set up that LLC. Every state we go to, I got to set up an LLC now and insure it and all of that. And I will. That's what I want to teach the youngsters. Do that. All right, you guys, I'm going to start wrapping it up, but let's just read some of the last comments. That's right. My boy, the after party. Okay, when the club shut down, right? Like at 2:00. Guess what? Foom starts at 2. The after party with Foom 209. Tap in, hit that like, man. Subscribe over to my brother right there. He got the after party. Cabrón, I can't stay up that late, man. I can't stay up that late. Chinga. ¿Cómo lo haces, güey? You're a night crawler, cabrón. Vas a caerle, güey. Mañana. That's right, my boy. SenCal is in the casa. That's right, my boy. ¿Qué está haciendo este fin de semana, güey? You're hitting some skiing, o qué onda? The four. I seen the little four. The quad, is it the quad or the jet ski? That's right, my boy. I appreciate you. These are the last comments, gente, because I got to get inside right here. I got 5 minutes. Salas is no joke when I lived there in the mid 90s. No, it wasn't, man. And there's nothing even to boast about or brag about. That it was the murder capital per capita. That means when you have 24 in 94, 24 homicides, and all 24, 100%, 100%, all 24 are gang related, that's a problem. And then, you know what broke that record was, it is crazy because 94, and then it's 6 plus 9, 15 years later in 2009, that record got broken with 29. Again, all 100%. That's when it's a problem. That's when I get a phone call. Other ministers, church leaders, pastors, community leaders, we get phone calls. We got to go to the vigil because the mom gave her son some milk money to go get some Infamil powder milk at the liquor store or WIC or at the swap meet or something like that. And guess what happened? The little 14, 15-year-old youngster, the cutlass came around the corner and cut him down, and he didn't make it home. Never going to see his mom again. Never going to see his little baby sister grow up. All because of what? For bullshit. All for bullshit, man. That gets me a little bit riled up, man. These cabrones that say they're for helping people, and they're really not. They're hurting people. Well, I can be in my neighborhood and look at me, and I got 20 veteranos around me. Complex. Validation complex. You guys, I'm going to let it go. What are your thoughts on pochos? Pues pochos, in my opinion, are they're not Chicanos. They're actually they're brought here from Mexico. So when they're brought here from Mexico, they weren't born here. They're brought here, and they learn English, and they more assimilate to the U.S. English culture. That's what I consider a pocho. A Chicano, we know, has Mexican full-blooded parents and is the first generation, or it could be second or third, if the parents are Chicanos and you know they don't mix bloodlines, but just Chicanos keep having kids. That's how Chicanos keep birthing Chicanos, right? But Chicanos are first generation. We're born here. This is our experience being born outside the motherland. But I can't turn my back on Mexico. I can't say I'm not gonna fly. I'm not proud of the Mexican flag. My parents will be rolling in their pinchy graves if I said that. If I didn't teach my children Spanish, my parents, my grandparents, my great, they'd all be rolling in their graves and be like, damn, he got swallowed up, 100% assimilated to U.S. culture and is not teaching it anymore. Hell no. I'm glad I went to Santa Rosa a couple years ago before my uncle sold his house, and he gave me the lineage of my father. I have the lineage of my father going up 8 generations because of my uncle. When he started telling me this, I said, oh hell no. I pulled out a pen and started writing it all down. A great 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 grandfather that was killed on his wedding day, and other incidents that were crazy. As soon as he started naming names, I started writing it all down. That's important, to know who you are. And these other ones that don't aren't comfortable in their own skin, I don't get it. Be proud that you're a Latino podcaster. Be for Latinos. Represent Latinos. The raza, we got it. We're vocal. Don't worry about us. We got a carro. And part of the carro, one wheel of the carro is Chicano too. I appreciate you, my boy. Hey, you guys, I gotta. That's right. Tony A is in the casa. That's right, my boy. You know what I was thinking about, cabron? I was thinking about when Alex Enamorado said on Lexit, I think it was on Hoodstocks, when he said children are safer at drag shows than they are at church. I started thinking the same thing about Alvin. And you were saying how inside that church that he invited everyone and or to go up and to speak and didn't correct anybody that's foul mouth in the house of God. I said, no wonder they're probably both atheists. They're all atheists, which is fine. I'm not knocking it. You could worship a fucking piece of paper. That piece of paper created you, or whatever floats your boat, a lamp or what, a genie in a lamp, whatever. I respect it. I'm just saying, I think that cabron is. We hear Mikey. Okay, that's right, my boy. Hey, you guys, I gotta go inside the juvenile camp. You guys, I don't want to be late. You should run for president, compa. No, man. You know what? I thought about politics, but that's a huge commitment. I ain't gonna be like Alvin. I want to get in and serve the people, and then I pull out when it's not beneficial enough for me. Try to come up with something in your head that's honorable as an excuse. No, he's just gonna avoid it. But we could tell. We know the character. That's right. St. Cal's in the casa. Tony A's in the casa. That's right, man. I'm not. I'm not. I'm gonna purchase the Chicano documentary when Tony A drops it, just to support. But I'm not looking forward to that. You know what I'm looking forward to? I want Tony A's documentary. That's what I want. Chicano rap. Did I ever bump it? I don't know. How I know Chicano rap is rapping over oldies or rapping over West Coast Zapp and Roger beats. That was Chicano rap. But I mean, let's just keep it real. Maybe it's not for the raza to be vocalist. I don't know, because the brothers got major mouthpiece. I mean, I mean major. But again, don't get mad. Don't get mad. I would rather see Tony's documentary. I'll buy the documentary just to support, but I'd rather see Tony's documentary because when he had Rashidi Carter on the channel who worked with Dr. Dre and other people, I was like, fuck, people don't even know. This is like history. He's pulling legends. And the other pendejo, what does he say? He doesn't want nobodies. My. That's right. I appreciate you, cabrones. I gotta go, you guys. I gotta get inside my meeting right here. They know when I come once a month over here, so I don't want to be late. Do me a favor though, hit that X, hit that like on your way out. I'll leave this live up. I'm not gonna go live today. Tomorrow, happy G Day to Bean Loke from Danking and Drinking. I'll see you tomorrow. Primeramente Dios, y Dios me despierta en la mañana y me da fuerza, ahí voy a estar. I appreciate you guys. Live from Chicano Tube, live from Chicano Street, live from outside the gates of the Youth Detention Center, which I'm about to go in. I'll let you guys go. But remember what I always say, gente? Remember what I always say. That's right, Ron Garcia. I want to read that comment before I go. Chicano power is in the house. That's right, my boy. Remember what I always say, gente? In the end, all you got is the memories.